All right. Welcome everybody back to our monthly backtest of our STAX AI software here with Investor Central Club. And this is Eric. I wanted to go over our monthly backtest, show you guys some new awesome numbers. And what you guys see right here, for those of you that are not familiar, is our STAX AI. What you'll notice right here is I've got STAX AI checked off. It is only buys at this point, so unchecking that buy box doesn't change anything. But what we're going to focus on is everything from here on September the 3rd all the way till today, September the 30th. I am recording this right before market close, but I don't see how any of these are anywhere close to those highs right now. So I might as well get this video done for you guys so you guys can analyze this on a Monday, getting ready for October as well. So with that being said, let's jump into our numbers here. And what I want to talk about real quick is, just so you guys understand, I have a lot of colors on here, but the main color you're focused on are the ones in the blue box, especially over here. Now, obviously these ones just came in, so these are being tested, are being back tested to see where their highs are. If anything in the previous months have those boxes highlighted in blue, it just simply shows that they have made new all-time highs, have new returns to consider. And if you scroll all the way back down, there are ones back from May, from April, even as far back as, if you see, February and December, where we have new highs made as well, and this one as well, October. So with that being said, let's go over these real quick. We did have CARR showing us a return of 129% at the highs. Keep in mind those highs were made here at the 20th of this month, so they have retraced a little bit. You'll see here on our spark line that it hit the highs over there, and it's kind of just consolidated up at those levels. With the fact that they purchased this for 2025, mid 2025, I would probably say they probably are expecting some more gains to come. So, look at your charts, consider your risk, and if it looks like a good purchase, STAX AI is telling us that there may be more gains to come. Keep in mind their strike price that that they aim for was 85, and right now it's sitting at about 80. So there still may be some more gains to come. SLV, the silver here, purchased for January of 2025, strike price of 45. It's still sitting under 30. I do understand that with that purchase, there were some highs where this one was looking at a 25% return. I do understand some of the people in our Discord may have purchased some shorter term expirations that were looking as high as 50% to 60% returns on those. DAL, we all know that Delta Airlines had a little bit of a pop. This one in particular for 2026, look, they bought a lot of time here, is actually looking at a 50% return already from earlier in this week. If you did go with any sort of a shorter term expiration, or I will also point out down here, there were some Delta Airline purchases for early January of 2025. Those ones are looking at some pretty awesome returns. We got a 60% and a 200% return over here too. NVIDIA right here for April of 2025, strike price of 155. It's struggling around 120 a little bit, back and forth a little bit, but here we've already seen about 35 to 38% returns on these as well. QQQ, mid 2025, strike price 564. I believe this is and 78 cents. I understand that the option prices for those are a little bit not well rounded, but ultimately this one purchased on the 19th has already seen about a return of 16%. Not the biggest one compared to what we've seen here in STAX AI, but still a winner nonetheless. All right. SLB over here, purchased for 2026, lots of time, strike of 55. Only up a tiny little bit. You can consider, I got this one in a lighter shade of green because again, it's up about 3 cents per share. So not the best, not the greatest in terms of returns, but the chart does look like there is some more room to come, more gains to come. 2026, plenty of time for them to still profit further from that. ARM, we've got 2026, 190, 4%. Like I said, not too much, but I will point out these all just came in at the end of the month, the last weeks of the month. And as you go back and look at some of my previous charting, previous stacks back testing, you'll notice that the ones at the very end of the week tend to be ones that really don't tend to profit till later on. Give them some time, especially if they purchase so much time and theta right there. XLF Financial Services 2026 55. This one's another 5%er. Not very big at this point, but again, like I said, they purchased quite a bit of time on that. MSTR. If you go look at our YouTube shorts, if you look at our Discord and what we've been sharing on Instagram, we actually took a position with MicroStrategy right before this big pop that they just had. It is looking like a Wyckoff reaccumulation phase, and going higher is very possible. This one's for September. They bought a whole year of 2025 at 220. It went up as high as almost 180, 179, I would say, and ultimately is looking at a 21% return on this. But if you did purchase anything of a shorter expiration, we did that in our Discord, especially because there were additional stacks prints showing that shorter expiration. We had some people profiting as high as 200% on those. BABA, this one right over the weekend had another big pop, and this one for March of 2025. Look, we're getting 30-40% returns on an expiration that isn't a 0 days to expiration or a weekly type of contract, which is pretty awesome. Strike of 140, sitting at 106. A lot of this China stimulus that keeps coming in is pushing these stocks a bit higher, and you can see this one popped a little bit just as well. These spark lines are not working just because these are such short term. They don't give the way it's set up isn't going to show us too much of a trend line so far. UAL over here, United Airlines. There is another one I also want to point out, United Airlines down over here, and that one's already looking at 88%. This one was purchased back in April, and so now they're still getting into some more positions. So again, this one I'm going to leave blank. I'm not going to consider it as a part of it just yet, just because it came in today, not too long ago. This month, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 of these have hit. We've got one that's marinating, like I like to say. Give it a little bit of time. But 10 out of 10. Average return rate here with all of these 10 is around 30%, just under. So quite a good month for STAX AI. And again, the reason that we're doing these back testings, the reason that we're going through these is to show you how powerful of a software and how powerful of a trading tool this can be. If you look on our webpage and look at our reviews on the store app, we've got 89 5-star reviews, plenty of new and old traders, or experienced traders, I might want to say, that have been using STAX AI to help their trading process and their analysis. Let's go back into some of these. The entire month of August, all of these prints went higher than where they were before. One of the big ones I was talking about last month was CEG. This one's actually gone a bit higher this month, with it being now at a 400% return. Pretty amazing. 23 days for that to happen. And one thing I do want to point out, I want to give a shout out to one of my family members, or family friends, but technically I consider her family, Anne, who was able to help me figure out. I did have these originally set for just days from purchase to that high, which did include weekends. And she gave me the idea and let me know that there is a filter here called network days that allows me to, or net work days, that allows me to take out those weekends and holidays as well. So ultimately, These are a little bit more accurate now. They are a little bit different than what the previous ones have done, but again, I'll make sure that whenever I do mention these days to high, that I do let you guys remember that up until this month, they were all just straight up how many days, and now we are taking out those weekends. Tesla here. Oh, I needed to update this one. This one was just very recent, I believe just today. Went just even higher. So we did have this now at 121% returns. ANET, 79%. Gold here sitting at a 31%. MU, Micron, 11%. But again, take a look at these expiration dates. They're purchasing for 2025, even 2026. Gold here looking at the end of 2026, which gives us a little bit of hint as to what they may be expecting. Like we talked about, DAL, this is back in July. They did purchase these. These were actually red for quite a little bit. I do know some people that were in these positions, but keep in mind the amount of time that they purchase hints as to, you know, how long we may have to wait and to expect those to go higher. I will also point out here, I am calling Microsoft here a loss, but again, it did drop, come back right back to where they purchased in at. It just hasn't made new highs. So I'm not exactly calling it a miss, but I'm not exactly calling it a win. I am calculating it as a miss within our data, just to be transparent. But ultimately, these, with the amount of time that they've purchased from Microsoft, you can see big money, the big institutional buyers are expecting it to probably go higher. If you take a look over here at this spark line, how it came back to where it was, again, very likely that this could head higher in due time. CEG, just like up over here, I do believe they ended up with the contract with Microsoft. You know, they were, and ultimately, that's what caused them to pop almost $50 overnight with the initial purchases of this one. If you take a look here on the very left, I have the spot price. They purchased CEG options when it was at 216, and now it's trading at 259 as of today. So keep in mind, this one looking now at 62%. Obviously not as great as this 400%, but again, if you're beating the S&P 500 by quite a margin here, and taking these, you know, taking these STAX AI callouts, taking these trades, and obviously managing your risk with, you know, whatever risk profile you're accustomed to, you know, there's also obviously very awesome gains to be had. VST over here going a bit higher this month, just last week, now at $6 per option, almost a 40% return there. NEM, same idea, went a bit higher this month, 107%. BEKE here at a bit higher as well. Real quick, let me do this for you guys too. I do have this on my watch list. I wanted to double check. I do think I saw it go a bit higher today. Yes, the 19.9 calls for 120. Oh, I guess I got to update this one. This one was one that I had to track on my Robinhood. It went up as high as $4.65 for today. So just a little peek into this. 465, new entry. Now we're going to click that for today. See, 108 days for this one to hit a high, but it's at 143%. So 143% return from your entry at 191. UAL, keep in mind we just had a United Airlines print that just came in. This one from back in April is now sitting at 88%. I do believe with them purchasing this far out in the future, they're very likely still in this. And this new one that just came in might just hint at the fact that they are potentially headed higher. Okay. Scroll down here. What you'll see here as well is we have AXP, American Express right here, headed higher again. Just this last week, now at $19 per share, 129%. NEM, just like we saw a bit ago, for 410% return, pretty awesome. AXP again, 200%. BABA, like we mentioned, just had a pop, big pop today, big pop the last week due to the stimulus plans that China released, and now sitting at about a 300% return. AXP again here, again for 2026 January, but this from the end of 2023, October of 2023. So they've already let this sit for almost a year, but this is a 10x return right here, 999%. With that being said, our average return for our 206 total prints, our average returns at 153.47% on average for all of our prints that we see here. What you will see here as well, each one of these ones that have been updated, I just put a low one so we calculate here. 12 of our prints from previous months have been updated, and obviously we have our 10 new ones from this month. So 22 new highs, if you might imagine. Now down here, our updated rates for this month, September, 100%, 10 out of 10, 29.31%, average of 5.1 days to those highs. Keep in mind, these are the net work days that we have. Thank you, Anne. And our total here shows 153.47% return on an average of 48.29. So usually, if you notice, especially with these ones that are leaps, the ones that are next year and the year after, they are buying quite some time. So it generally takes over a month for these to hit their highs. But do keep in mind, there are ones, you can take a look back on these numbers that ultimately do show, once they do hit their highs, you've got to manage your risk, manage your returns. Don't let those green trades go red. Set your stop losses. Don't be greedy. There's that saying, I think I butchered it last time when I was talking about it, but bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. What that means are the greedy ones, the ones who keep looking for more and more and more, especially when they are green. Those are the ones that get wrecked in these markets, and especially with newer traders that expect everything to be 100% return, expect everything to be a knock out of the park type of trade. Those are the ones that end up getting wrecked. So please manage your returns, manage your risk. I do understand stacks here. These numbers are very, very promising. They're very high returns and all. But please manage your portfolio, manage your risk, set those stop losses so that you do not end up deep in the red. It's still very possible. Okay. With that being said, let's jump over here to our numbers real quick. I'm just going to focus over here on these from the back test from previous months now down to now. I did merge our version 1 and version 2 numbers, so there were a couple of winners that ultimately technically were counted twice, but were shouted out by both of our versions of STAX AI. And now we have things kind of more streamlined as well. I do need to go back and double check. I do want to point out on one of mine, I noticed a little bit of my own little mess up. There was a Tesla trade in here that I do believe had the wrong numbers put in at one point. So there was something that was looking that I caught myself where the numbers were off a little bit, and I did correct that. I will go back into my previous back tests and take a look at those and see if I can find it and point it back out to you guys. But again, STAX AI software, very, very, I believe it was this put, by the way. STAX AI software, very, very powerful software. Very, very happy to share this with you guys to show you, what is possible in these markets, and that we do have a bit of insight as to what the big money interests are doing. For those of you that have questions, please don't hesitate. We're always happy to help you guys out. help@investorcentralclub.com. Please send us an email. We're more than happy to chat with you guys. If you enjoyed these back tests, please leave me a like. Leave me some comments here in the comments section. I'm kind of wondering how many of you guys are actually watching this through and getting the full information, and how many of you maybe have benefited and used stacks in order to profit yourselves. All right. Well, with that being said, this is Eric here with STAX AI Investor Central Club. Please let us know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in the very next one.